step into the new when you drive a Chevy. It's time for a fresh approach and a new perspective. And find the Chevy that's right for you. Find new experiences, find new roads. Chevrolet.
Hey, welcome back to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad you've tuned in here, presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Laborers Local 663, Shelter Insurance Agents Grant Baker and Aurora, Sean Holman in Lockwood. The Bank of Billings, established 1889, the oldest bank in Christian County. Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, Doak Propane, and Great Southern Bank. Going north now, back to Jeff City here in episode 264, and gentleman we visited with earlier on this season, coming to the RVest Classic, Jeff City Helias head basketball coach, Coach Joe Rothweiler. Coach, thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me on.
Coach, you guys have had a good season. You're playing for a district championship in that Class 5, District 7. Take us through kind of since the last time we visited, they're going into the RVest Classic.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like ancient years ago. I mean, that was a long time ago. But we've had a good season. We've had some bumps in the road. I thought I was really happy with the way we played down at the Arvest Classic, and we came up with a big win in the first game of that tournament. Had a tough loss against a really good Parkview team in the second round, and lost our best player with a concussion so we didn't have him against Fayetteville, but still played them very tight. And so I was pleased from that point. We went into a stretch where we struggled a little bit after that. A matter of playing against good teams and being scouted a little bit and having to make some adjustments. And, then we started playing good basketball again around Christmas and had another good stretch of games. And then we hit another bump in the road and I think lost 4 in a row in January. But we have finished very strong. I think we won 5 out of 6, 5 out of our last 6, and probably playing our best basketball of the year right now.
Yeah, you've actually won 6 out of your last 7 coming in, and coming into districts. You get Hogan Prep in round 1, Raytown South in the second round. Kind of take us through those ball games.
Going into it, like you said, 6 out of 7. We had won 4 in a row right before Rockbridge, and ended that with a loss. And I think that kind of got us motivated again to go into the playoffs. And I thought we played really good basketball against Hogan Prep, and they're another team that was up and down throughout the course of the year, but they're a very well coached team, and I knew their style of play would give us a little bit of fits. They had some bad matchups for us, but we started off strong in that game, but they crept back into it and tied it up at some point in the second quarter. And we really put a strong second half together and kind of controlled it, and were able to put them away in the fourth quarter. Raytown South was it was pretty similar. I think they're a very talented team, very well coached team as well. And they had battled injuries galore throughout the season, and so they were kind of a tough scout. But we came in and I thought we had our best defensive effort of the year in that game, and we got off to a hot start against them, and they got back in it, and they actually took the lead at halftime. And I thought the beginning of the third quarter was some of the best basketball we played all year, and we were able to grab the lead back and hold on to it.
Now you've got Jeff City team that you split with during the regular season. Talk a little bit about those 2 games and what went on that was different.
We played them in our annual Christmas tournament at their place, and in the third place game, and so last couple of years we played them in that game, and so we played them 3 times last year. We'll play them 3 times again this year, and so it's, for those that don't know, it's a heavy rivalry. It always has been, and they're 2 miles down the road from us, and we're going to travel 80 miles to go play them tonight. But we jumped out on them in the first game, and we're up 20-3 after the first quarter, and we knew they were going to come back. It's the rivalry; it always happens, and so it was a tight game right down to the end. We ended up pulling out a 7-point lead, and we're able to hold on to it in the fourth quarter. They came at our place and kind of gave it to us in the second half. So we played another decent first half, but they really controlled the game in the second half. We had a really rough shooting night in the second half. I think we went, after the first quarter, we were 1 for 17 from the 3-point line, And when we do that, it's going to be tough for us to win ball games. And that's credit to them. They kind of got us out of rhythm, and we took some questionable shots, but we learned from it. And so hopefully we learned from those mistakes and some things we can do better and can take that into tonight.
As you look at those two games going into tonight, you wake up tomorrow morning and Helias is the victor. What stats are you going to look at that's going to say, hey, this is why we won it? I mean, 1 for 17 from the 3-point line, that's probably going to have to change.
That's definitely gonna have to change. And probably the biggest stat when I go back and look at the first two games was we out rebounded them the first time by a pretty good margin, and they out rebounded us the second time by a pretty good margin. And we missed a lot of shots, so it led to a lot of their defensive rebounds. But I'm more so concerned about the offensive rebounds. We were able to grab several offensive boards and get second possessions the first time we played them, and we couldn't do that the second time. And so I think that'll be a key factor. And outside of that, just the way that we shoot the ball.
Outstanding. Well, you go back and we're just talking about the Arvest Classic here at the beginning of this, but you look at just the teams that were in that. I mean, yourself playing for a district championship, Parkview playing for a district championship, Kickapoo playing for a district championship, Lee Summit West, Raytown, all playing for a district championship, and Fayetteville's in their state playoffs, still playing. So just a heck of a tournament there to start the season off.
It really is. It's great preparation. And you're right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But now I'm looking back on all those teams are still playing. And so, yeah, I think Lee Summit West had a big upset to get to their district title game. So, that's cool to see. We didn't play all of them down there, but I thought that was a very competitive tournament. And I thought all the teams were pretty evenly balanced down there. And so Parkview does a great job of putting that thing together, and we'll be glad to go back to it next year.
You bet. Well, Coach, you got a big one tonight, 7 p.m. Like you said, you're playing somebody 2 miles down the road, and you're driving 80 miles to play them.
Yeah.
Kickapoo and Nix are in the same boat. They're just a few miles apart, and they're driving all the way to Joplin to play. But
Oh wow, I didn't. Yeah, it's wild, And our girls are playing 5 minutes from home, so they're over here at Blair Oaks. So, we'll definitely we might be limited on the crowd tonight, but we've been pretty good on the road, so hopefully we'll continue to do that.
You bet. Well, again, Coach Rothweiler, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck. And hopefully we'll get to visit with you next week after a Crusader win. And you're going to have 8 days to do it, so we can track you down surely in some of that time.
Oh yeah. Just let me know when. Hopefully we'll still be there.
All right, Coach. Hey, best of luck and safe travels.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
All right, you bet. You're watching the Missouri Sports Network at MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Keep it right here.